Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks very much for joining us. We are tracking that rain on the west coast today. Some heavy falls continuing on right along the west coast, but now Nelson, Marlborough looking pretty exposed to heavy rain coming up as well. So I think there could be further slips and flooding as that system slowly moves northwards and then gets stopped and moves back southwards again. It's a little bit complicated, but you can see here there's a subtropical northerly coming down. That's full of moisture. And then out over here, big high pressure zone with a southerly coming through. So that's the two winds that are meeting, and then you got the sort of cloud cover and low pressure coming out of Australia. So there's a few things going on out in the Tasman that's leading to the rain. Today's animated map, well, it's not moving now, but there we go, is the water vapor map. So this is showing you where the water vapor is in the atmosphere. The areas most likely to get the rain are in white. So you can see here that more sort of subtropical flow coming down over Norfolk Island, over the North Island as well. That's why it's so warm and humid, but also cloudy. And then you got this other burst of weather coming out of Australia, and this is all helping to team up and bring all that heavy rain into the west coast. And there is a lot more on the way. The areas here with the dark blue, that's getting up and off the scale. That's still 400 to 500 millimeters. What I find quite interesting about this is over here, we've got blue showing 150 to 200 millimeters. That is a lot of rain for between Nelson and Marlborough. That to me is quite concerning. So we could be seeing more slips and floods, road closures in the upper North Island and of course down along the west coast. And that spillover into Canterbury is taking you into the sort of 60, 70, 80, 90 millimeter range. So it depends on how close you are to the mountains, but there's still a fair bit of rain spilling over and now just starting to show up into the North Island because that's what happens this weekend. The west coast rain starts to move into the North Island. Rainfall totals over the next 3 days. Sorry, this is a 72-hour rainfall map. I probably should have said that at the beginning. So the next 3 days ahead, and it slowly will start to move into the North Island, but dry over there around Gisborne and Mahia Peninsula. So here's the forecast. 24 hours of rain on this map. This shows us Friday, and you can really see all that rain continues on the west coast, showing sort of 60, 80 millimeters coming through, and up in the mountains there will be even more than that. So a fair bit on the way. But the North Island's mostly dry. It is cloudy, warm, overnight lows in the low 20s. In fact, there were some parts of the South Island that didn't go below 20 degrees last night because of the windy northerlies. That should change though as we go into Friday. And by the time we're into Saturday, that rain becomes very heavy up around the Nelson area. So that's the place that we're monitoring very closely. The Nelson Ranges, the purple shading is getting up on the map there to 100, 150 millimeters in 24 hours, but it starts to ease further out around Canterbury and down to the south, although there's not much for the south. And the North Island's mostly dry, but it does start to clip Taranaki and the Wellington, Kapiti areas. By Sunday, we've got this very humid northerly coming into the North Island. It's a different story in the south, quite windy through the Southern Alps, and that rain turns around and comes more into Canterbury again. The totals aren't huge, but they're big enough to cause a few concerns. 40 to 60 millimeters potentially there coming through on Sunday. So we go into Monday and things get quite complicated. Look at all these low pressure zones in the tropics. The red line comes down. That's tropical air, very, very moisture laden, thick air is what we call it. You know, when you get off the plane in the tropics and you feel that humidity hit you, this is it coming down into the New Zealand area. On Monday, it'll be a windy easterly across the country, heavy rain on the eastern side, not so much on the western side, and you'll see a bit of wet weather coming into the South Island. And look at the southeasterlies fanning out around Sydney and Brisbane. Once again, keeping the temperatures actually down just a little bit for you. By Tuesday, this could be a possible tropical cyclone, but with these other lows right next to it, they might steal the energy. And so you just end up with a big rainmaker, exactly what we're seeing in the New Zealand area right now. And those windy, wet easterlies continue on, and they continue on into Australia. And our final map for Wednesday doesn't show a great deal of change other than this storm intensifying. But like I say, this other low nearby might change all that. So this one's yet to be locked in, but see the red line comes right down into Northland, so that warm, humid, cloudy, wet weather will continue on, not just for a couple of days, but well into next week as well, although the South Island is looking mostly dry. Before I go, don't forget, our Climate Watch video is now out, so check that out if you need to take a look at the forecast for the month of February. I'll see you tomorrow.